Maniac here. So if you remember, not too long ago I made a video installing the programmable digital thermostat for the furnace system. Well, now I'm going to be installing a digital programmable thermostat for the baseboard system. Yes, this particular room has both. It's supplemented with the electric baseboard, as the electric furnace sometimes can't keep up, so we have dual heat. So what I'm going to be doing is removing this older style thermostat, and I'm going to be replacing it with a digital programmable thermostat. This is going to be giving us more accurate temperatures instead of these older style that had anywhere from a 2 to 4 degrees Celsius variance in it. So we're going to have more accurate temperature setting, and as well we're going to be able to program, so energy savings as well. So what I went out and got was myself a programmable thermostat that gives us multiple programming. So for days and weekends, so weekdays, weekends, multiple settings per day. As you can see, it's rated for baseboard heating, convection heating. So you have to remember when you go and get one of these and it's for baseboard heating, that it's for a baseboard heater. See, electric thermostat, and it says right there, shows you for baseboard heating. So it's a higher voltage. It's not like your low voltage like we installed in the last video. Another thing to keep in mind when looking at these thermostats is the wattage rating. So this one is a 4,000 watt, and that's because in this office I have 3 6-foot baseboard heaters, which are, I think it's 1,500 watts a piece. So you want to get a rating that's going to give you at least what the rating is for your baseboard heating. So just something to keep in mind, because you get them at different wattages, some at 500, 1,000, 2,000. So this is the bigger one you could get, the 4,000. So this particular model is the Stelpro. The model number is right there, the STE 402P Plus. I bought that at my local Rona here in Quebec, and it cost me, I believe it was $38 Canadian for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the steps we need to do in order to install this and to remove the old one. So step one, you're going to locate your panel, and you're going to find which breaker it is for your heating system. As you can see, we're in Quebec, so it's all in French. Chauffage is heating. So you're going to find which breaker corresponds to the thermostat you're doing. So in order to do that, switch one breaker off at a time, then go test for voltage at the thermostat using a voltage tester. I'll show you that as well. Now I'm doing all of the baseboard heaters in this space, so I'm going to be turning off all the heating, but I'm still going to be checking it. So locate your panel, figure out which breaker it is, turn it off, safety first. Okay, so now that our breaker is off, we want to really make sure that we have no voltage here. So the way we test that is you could remove the bezel or the panel around the thermostat itself. On these style, you just pull it straight out, and that exposes the thermostat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be checking for voltage. One of the ways to check if there's no more voltage or current at this thermostat and at the heater, the easy way if you want to do it is you turn it on, you hear the click, and you wait by your baseboard heater and see if any heat comes out. And if heat comes out, then you know you haven't found the right breaker and there's still current coming through it. If no heat comes after a few minutes, then you're somewhat safe to say there's no current there. I don't really favor that way. What I like to do is you get yourself a pen style voltage tester. So what I did is I turned the breaker back on for you guys to show you. Now if you have a sensitive enough pen voltage tester, you push it, and as you come just close to the thermostat, you get the beeping. Hear it? So that's telling us we have voltage here. This one's sensitive enough. You can't see wires on these thermostats because it's high voltage. They're tucked away in behind this panel in the metal electrical box. You could loosen the screws, pull this away to expose the wires and get your tester in behind. Still not the safest way to do it. If you have a good reliable pen tester, it should be sensitive enough to pick up voltage through the plastic, and you see a voltage there. So I'm going to go ahead again and turn off the breaker and show you guys now that we don't have voltage. That breaker off again, we take our tester, we hold it up against where we were last time we had the beeping. Now we have no beeping. We know we have no more current coming to this thermostat, no more current coming to the heater. So now it's safe to remove the 2 screws and to pull this away to expose the wiring, and we can disconnect the wiring. So let me get that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Thermostat pulled out, so you can see your 2 wires. So remember, this electric baseboard heating is a 220 volt system, or 240, depending how you want to look at it. which means each wire is supplying 110/120 volts for a total of 220, 240. So once we got that out, we still want to always be safe. Recheck the wires, take your pen tester, come close, make sure you have no voltage. Once we're sure we have no voltage, we could go ahead and take the wire barrettes off to loosen to separate the wires of the old thermostat to the wires going for the system. And on the new thermostat, we're going to have 2 wires as well. These are very simple to do, guys. It's not rocket science. It doesn't matter which wire goes to where. Both wires are supplying 110, 120 volts. It doesn't matter which wire gets connected to what. And so we're going to go ahead and remove these, and we're going to go wire up the new thermostat. So the way this particular model of thermostat works, in order to mount it to the wall, it's got a bracket on the back. And to remove this bracket, on the bottom you have a little Phillips screw. Remove that Phillips screw, and that allows this back bracket here to separate. That gets screwed onto your box, and then the thermostat would then mount onto it, and you put that screw back in. But I'll show you guys that when I get to that step. So here you can see I've mounted the bracket, so the bracket's removed. On the bracket you have arrows telling you which way it needs to be oriented. So arrows going up, because we know our mounting screw goes on the bottom. So you're going to use the screws provided to screw that on. Then the next step is to make our wire connections. Like I said, any wire to any wire, twist it around using your wire barrette. You're going to wire that up, and we're going to tuck the wires inside the box. So the wires are connected. Now what I like to do is, after I put the wire barrette on, I like to wrap it in electrical tape, wrapping down over the wire and up over the barrette. It gives a little bit of added security, keeping it in place. It stops anything else from getting up in the barrette where it can make contact with the live wires. Some people might say this is overkill. Hey, electric tape isn't expensive. A little bit of precaution doesn't hurt anyone. So once we get that tape on and our wires are connected, you're going to want to gently tuck these wires back inside the box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to clip our thermostat back in place. So the thermostat's back in place. I haven't put the screw yet. So what you need to do is you need to come up a little high on it, because there's like a little lip in behind on that bracket that hooks into the thermostat itself. So you come up a little high, push it against the wall, slide it down. And now if we look on the bottom, you can see where our screw goes. So you're going to put your screw in there, and that's going to lock it in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll turn the breaker back on, and I'll show you what it looks like. So we come back to our breaker panel, find our appropriate breaker, and we're going to switch it back on into the on position. Now we're going to go check the thermostat to make sure everything's working properly. So we come back to our thermostat, and we can see that the display is on. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. This particular model has a little blue light. So you're going to go through, go ahead, you're going to set your time, you're going to do all your programming. I'm not going to show you how it's done. It's in the manual, and every thermostat's a little bit different, but just follow the manual. It's pretty simple. It's also going to depend on how many modes or sequences your particular thermostat has. Anyways, guys, it's just a quick and easy of how to install a programmable digital thermostat for a baseboard heating system, electric baseboard heating system. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks a lot, guys.